Deadlock's next update is shaping up to be the biggest one we ever had. New heroes, Christmas skins, and even a completely new objective. In this video, I'm breaking down everything we know so far, and a bunch of details you won't find anywhere else. We're talking leaks and even early rumors about updates after the big patch drops. If you want the full picture of where Deadlock is headed next, this video is for you. Let's get right into it. Spoiler warning. Beep boop, beep boop. This video will show a lot of new stuff. If you don't want to get spoiled, click off the video now. This update has been in the works for months on Valve, and Yoshi has announced the update or the planned update for December quite a while ago. And there is a lot of stuff in this update. It is arguably the biggest update we ever had in Deadlock, which is crazy to say after the last update, right? Which had 6 new heroes randomly. But from what I've seen, it has some amazing updates, and we'll get right into everything we know. But let's get the bad news out of the way first. There might be a possible delay. Yoshi today confirmed that there's still quite a bit of work in the update. And he also said that the update might possibly be delayed or close to Christmas. Now, if you look at this image, which is a leaked image from the test server, you can clearly see they're planning to release this on Christmas, right? Or before Christmas, because we have Christmas skins, we have Christmas hats. Even some of the new heroes have Christmas skins apparently, right? So it would be in their best interest to release it in December. And from what I heard, it's still quite realistic, okay? The rumor on the streets, as I say, by the way, I have a lot of sources that I won't mention for obvious reasons. But the rumors on the streets are saying the most likely release date is around the 20th, 21st, 22nd of December. So right before Christmas. And again, as Yoshi said, like literally today, there is still some work to be done, and once I show you all the stuff that is getting released in this update, you will understand why. Honestly, it was surprising to me in the first place that they announced a new update in December, because again, like 2.5 months ago, we had 6 new heroes, right? But let's get right into the juice, and I'll give you a short overview first, and then we'll get into more details. So, first thing first, there's a bunch of new heroes that they've been working on and really actually working on a rapid pace. If you have not heard, there's a new character that's going to be a fan favorite called Rem, which we'll get into in a second. And then there's a character named Fencer, and there's other characters that are all in the secret test server. Now, not every character that is in the secret test server will be released with this update. We don't know the actual number of heroes that will be released. My guess would be 3 to 4 from what I heard, because some characters are finished or are close to being finished. But I wouldn't expect every character that is named here, like Graves Gravedigger, to be released in this update. There is a character named Venator. He was known as Priest. That was basically done for the last 6-hero update, and a lot of people back then were upset he wasn't in the roster, because he's supposed to be like a full gun hero, which is something we didn't have in quite a while, right? And there's also a mode called Street Brawl. If you don't know what Street Brawl is, it is basically ARAM. ARAM is a mode in Dota or League, which goes for all random, all mid, okay? So what this is, it's a really casual fun game mode where you queue up with your friends and you go 6v6 in the middle lane. And then the game is gonna end once, I would assume, the Patron dies, but like the catch is you can all only play mid, so it's gonna be non-stop team fighting, which obviously will, you know, remove a lot of the macro and MOBA aspects from the game, but it's supposed to be a casual game mode, and that game mode is basically confirmed to be in the next patch, and it's been done for quite a while. Let's go for the stuff I'm actually really excited for, okay? This is number 1. So this is Rem. If you guys are wondering why it is named Rem, this is an owl, and Rem stands for Rapid Eye Movement Sleep, the Rapid Eye Movement Sleep, and this entire character is designed around being a sleepy owl. His entire kit also revolves around the fact that you put other people to sleep. If we look into some of the leaked abilities of the character, there's an ability called Nap Time, which says floating up into the air and gaze upon an area. Enemies within your gaze become tired. When the channel ends, everyone tired falls asleep. Which sounds, first off, very hilarious. And by the way, if you guys don't know, this character is going to be the smallest character model in the game. And this is basically, yeah, confirmed to be true. We've had multiple leaks of Rem in-game screenshots. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they balance this character, because the hitbox is obviously going to be the smallest in the game, okay? So Rem has an ability that puts people to sleep. And then this is the ultimate, I think, which is ride along with an ally and take a nap, granting them a barrier and regeneration. You're knocked off when the barrier breaks. You can use items but cannot shoot or cast abilities. Healing and barriers are shared. So it's a full support character. And I have not played League, but I heard there's a character in League that is called Yumi that works very similar, where you can actually just attach to one of your carries and make them like a Giga monster. And then the other abilities have had their fair share of changes over time. Right now, from what I heard, the one ability is going to be very similar to something like Seven's Ball, which is like a skill shot that stops when it hits an enemy. And the character is supposed to be pretty high skill level, okay? So that's what we know about Rem, and I mean, Valve cooked with the art design. And from the time this character first got leaked, which was like 3 weeks ago, until now, they basically finished the model. I think they have a lot of voice lines ready, which is crazy to me. The pace they're developing this patch with is crazy. And like, again, like, you know, you would think that someone else in the last 10 years, in terms of developers, had the idea of making like a really small, cute character that fits into a game like this. But this is just like Valve at their best, you know. Their character designs are insane. So props to them if this turns out to be true. Again, this is most likely gonna be in the patch because this character has blown up in popularity, even though technically Valve has not said a single word about them. Next up, we have some new posters around the map. And this is more so art style, you know, it's not something that will change the gameplay, but there's some really cool new posters that are gonna be around the map. I love the Trophy Collector one. Like, there's a bunch of like heads of like scary demons. Then we have Curse, Majestic Leap, and Hunter's Aura. So this is just like the same art style that they've used until now. And I think whoever is working on this art style, like, you know, insane art. Next up, I know this is pretty low res, but this is the new Walker, okay? So the rumor right now is that Walkers will be bulls and bears, because we're in New York, so we're, you know, on the stock market. If you don't know about bulls and bears in stock, look it up. So one side is supposed to have bulls and one side is supposed to have bears. Now, there is a bit of conflicting information because we also have an in-game screenshot, which looks to be real, even though it's really low res, which is a triple-headed bull, and this is obviously for Sapphire, right? It's the blue side, whereas this screenshot, it could be real, it could also be AI. I cannot confirm or deny this. I just know that at least the Sapphire side will have bulls, so it would make sense for Amber to have bears. So again, this might not turn out to be true. I mean, this suits the style of the game so much more than the walkers we have now. I know a lot of us have grown accustomed to it, you know, it's the only walker design we've seen, but this design has been in the game since the game was called Neon Prime, where it was playing in Neo Tokyo in a completely different time span, right? So it's still placeholders. So good on them for finally updating walkers. I hope with the update to, you know, the look, we'll also get an update to the animations, make the attacks look cooler, right? Or change the attacks a bit, because right now I think they're pretty bare bones still, the way they work. So we have new walkers. Next up, this is a sketch of what the new creeps are gonna look like in-game. Right now, if you look in-game, all the creeps have this candle look, right, on both sides. And that's been in the game for a long time. And what they're going for is more of a distinction between Amber and Sapphire. Sapphire is going to have a crystal look for creeps, and Amber is going to keep that candle look we've had until now, but I'm sure the models will be updated in-game. In fact, I'm sure, because there's already leaks of screenshots of those in-game. So here we can see one of the new Amber melee creeps, or sorry, Sapphire melee creeps. Here we can see this is an Amber ranged creep. So it's still that candle look, but it looks way more polished and it looks way more unique. And here we have, this is the Sapphire range creep, and this is the Sapphire melee creep. Here a little screenshot of the map of a healing creep on the Amber side, with a healing creep of the Sapphire side in the past or in the distance. Next up, this is Fencer. And I know, again, low resolution pictures. There's a bunch more floating around, but they're all pretty low resolution. And Fencer is supposed to be a melee brawler and is supposed to be really high skill level. So it's gonna fill the same niche as something like a Billy or an Abrams or a Calico, where they just stay very close and they should be very tanky. And the weird thing about this character is he doesn't look like it, right? Like if you showed me this character model and you gave me no context, I would have assumed that he's like a melee DPS that is very squishy, but is supposed to be pretty tanky. Next up, we have Venator, or Venator he is now called. This, again, was Priest, and this character is 100% confirmed to be coming. This character has been done for a long time. It's been done basically since the 6.0 patch, and this is the current in-game model. On the left side, right side might be an older model or another version of the skin, but this is a gun carry character. And by the way, we do have leaked abilities of Fencer, but I didn't want to get into all of them, and Fencer's ones are not completely confirmed yet. What is completely confirmed, or most likely confirmed, are the abilities of Venator, the gun carry. So I'll go over them real quick. So he does most of his damage with gun, and it's the first character in the game that scales his damage fully off gun on some of his abilities. So ability number 1 is a grenade that does burst, that scales off gun and applies true damage. And true damage means damage that cannot be negated, kind of like Tank Buster. And it applies 40 anti-heal, and 40 minus 40, I would assume this is 40%. I would take these numbers with a grain of salt. Whenever new characters come out, they turn out to be really broken and they usually get nerfed quite fast. So it sounds really strong to have 40 anti-heal on an ability, but yeah, we'll see how it plays in game. Ability number 2 is a shotgun that knocks people away and stuns them if they hit a wall. Okay, so kind of similar to the Dormant card, I guess. But it also kind of reminds me of an ability from Ashe, the Overwatch character, where, you know, it's a coach gun that shoots and knocks the enemy back. But there's also a stun if you knock them into a wall. And ability number 3 is a synergistic ability, which is called Bear Trap. It roots and it reveals the enemy player. I would imagine it's like a trap that you place and then it takes a second to arm, kind of like the Talon trap we have now. And then if someone steps into it, they get rooted, which means they can't move. They will be like, you know, rooted like a page root. And it will reveal the enemy as well, which that's like a nice side effect, I guess. But again, as this leaker, which toxic as whore, is actually a very reliable leaker. Like she's leaked a lot of the stuff we have in the game. You can combo this with a 2, right? So you would stun them into a wall and then put the bear trap down immediately and then they will get rooted. So I would imagine, like, do we need more CC in the game? I don't mind CC as long as it's not hard CC, but it does sound like to me like Venator, sorry, has a lot of stun abilities that are going to be really annoying to deal with. And then the ultimate is an ability called Crossbow. It's 3 bolts that execute under a certain health threshold. So it's kind of like Shift Execute, but from range. And it can pierce multiple enemies and it scales with gun. So again, this is like the true gun carry that will build gun no matter what, it seems like, right? Knowing Valve, they'll find a way to make his spirit OP too, because Valve loves spirit. But yeah, that's Venator's abilities. And this is the final update. There's been multiple iterations of this. And again, reason I didn't mention Fencer yet is his abilities still seem to be work in progress. So I would imagine, at least with Venator, this is what you can probably expect once the character comes out in December. Next up, this is an older leak, but I thought I'd mention it here. On top of all of the heroes we're getting, which I would imagine at least Rem and Venator will be in the patch, right? That's the absolute minimum, the 2 heroes, probably more. On top of that, they are completely redesigning the bases. And this is a leak from in-game, and you can see there's other changes like UI changes. This also could be work in progress, but this is what the new base looks like. And if you look at the map, it's very interesting. We now have 2 spawn points. Also, the shrines are way more towards the center of the map. It's these glowing balls that you will have to shoot, and as you can see, there's like an aura that goes, or an energy field that goes from the shrine to the Patron, which we can see here, right? So that's gonna make it, you know, make the Patron invulnerable, and then we kill the shrines and then we fight the Patron. And if you look closer, there will be 2 phases, right? On the bottom, we can see a smaller version of the Patron, and then that's probably gonna be phase 1, and then phase 2 is gonna be this massive thing. And this looks so much more scary and so much more like Deadlock, right? Compared to the old like little ball that drops that nobody cares about, right? So I really hope that on top of like this looking really cool, that the the Patron is also gonna fight back, you know? It's supposed to be like, the Patrons are supposed to be that, you know, god amongst men that like can make all your wishes come true if you fight for them, right, and win for them. So I want them to be scary and not like a random ass ball. So this is like sick art design, you know? This looks like really, really cool. And yeah, here's a close-up, bit lower res, but you can see small little first phase Patron, and then once we down that, we're gonna fight this thing, which is sick. And again, this is only one side, right? This is only Amber. We haven't even seen what the Sapphire Patron looks like, and I would imagine it's gonna look different, right? Next up, a hand. Yeah, this is actually one of the other leaked characters, Necromancer. And there is a decent chance this character will be in the game because it has been playable for a while. Necromancer, you know, you would think if you think of a Necromancer, you would think of like an old grumpy zombie kind of person, right? Like that's what a Necromancer looks like. But no, it's a girl in a school outfit with two dead hands that she holds in her actual hands. So again, Valve kind of flipping the script on us with this design, and I think it's sick. I actually really like that Valve is going ahead with the times. I think we need cool character designs that a lot of different people can relate to, right? Like the one thing Deadlock had so far is a lot of the character designs are quirky, and while they're all insanely unique, they're not mass appealing. And I think if we want this game to be blowing up for the masses, we need some more designs like Mina, right? Mina is a fan favorite, right? She's a cute vampire that's also a bitch, right? And people love that. So I think characters like Necromancer and like Rem will really help us achieve that, okay? So this is Necromancer, and there's also some leaked Necromancer abilities. One is called Burrow Decree. I would imagine this is the ult, the way it sounds like, because this sounds like Undying ult from Dota, if you've ever played Dota. It creates a gravestone, and the gravestone spawns ghouls, so extra NPCs that fight for your side. And the gravestone can be destroyed by a heavy melee, but you can make 3 at once, and every 6 seconds, at least in this version, it spawns a ghoul. And the gravestone lasts for 30 seconds. If you don't know what that means, it's kind of crazy, right? Like, this sounds like, if it's not the ult, this would be really abusable in lane, because you could just put down one of those gravestones, and then you suddenly have more creeps than the enemy every single wave, right? Because they spawn every 6 seconds. And ghouls also run forward and explode, eventually dealing spirit damage. So you could also use this to push lanes. So I would imagine this is the ult. This sounds really good. And then Shambling Ghoul sounds like a normal ability. It says raise a buried ghoul that shambles forward. It explodes when it dies, dealing spirit damage and applying a stun. Which, that's insane damage, right? 350 damage and a half-second stun for a normal ability. But the ghoul has a 400 health, so I think the counterplay is going to be to like get out of his way and then kill it, right? Because I think it's just going to explode eventually, so you just kind of want to dodge and not be close to it when it explodes. Either way, sick character design. Again, up until now it was only heroes and map design. There is a new objective that they've been working on that has had multiple iterations. I cannot confirm or deny that this is going to be the final iteration, but it is basically kind of like wards from Dota or League. The twist is, in Dota League you buy the wards, and your supports or whoever buys them can place them on the map, but these are fixed points on the map where there's these little, right now it's frogs, I would imagine they will change the look. Once they're active, they open their eyes and they will reveal part of the map to you, okay? So it will show if anyone is walking past this area of the map. And the way you capture it is apparently, you just kind of get close to it. It's 8 in total. Inactive watchers can be right-clicked by any hero and channeled for 1.5 seconds in order to turn them on. So a very fast activation time. And when on, the watcher grants 800 radius vision over the area for 7 minutes, after which it deactivates and becomes neutral again. Which means, it sounds to me like once this is active by one team, the other team can't just walk up and switch it around, right? So it's going to be very essential to get to these when they spawn or when they reactivate, to get to them fast, so you activate them before the enemy. Because it sounds to me like once they're active, they will stay active, and it will give the team that has them active a lot of map control, because you will have a lot of vision, right? You will have a lot of map info. And if you ever played any other Dotas, right? Like any other MOBAs like Dota or League, you know how important map vision is, right? And this is going to be insane. A hero from the opposing team can channel an active watcher for 1.5 seconds to destroy it. Okay, so there you go. Cannot be deactivated, but can be destroyed, and then they respawn. When Roshan is killed, I mean, this is obviously someone leaking it. Roshan is the mid-boss in Dota. So when mid-boss is killed, all watchers, including the destroyed ones, are automatically captured for the killer's team. So this is one thing which I find really interesting. Right now, there's not really a lot of value in killing mid-boss. It gives a bit of gold now since the last few patches, but obviously the important thing right now in mid-boss is rejuve, right? So the kill itself didn't really do anything for the team. So if the team would kill the mid-boss and then get the mid-boss stolen, they would get nothing. So now at least they get vision of everything on the map, which puts some power away from the rejuves themselves, which I like, right? Watchers are located in the center of each main jungle, next to each mid-boss pit, in the center of each triangle near the secret shop, and by each tormentor. I don't know what they mean with tormentor. That might be something I have to look into. Next up, there is changes to soul orbs. So the way it works now, and this is a great change, it's a smaller change, but it's a great change. Once a soul orb drops, as long as you are in range and your teammate secures it with a melee, the amount of souls will be split between all players, okay? So that's another change, smaller one, but really cool. And then to finalize it, there's also gonna be visual updates to characters, and this one is one that we've been asking for a long time. This is the new Yamato model, and this is almost certainly real and not fake. Yamato had the same ugly ass head, right, for a long time. It's been in the game ever since before Neon Prime. It's one of the first models Valve ever did. And people have been looking forward to the new model. And I think from what we see so far, this looks absolutely sick. Okay, so that's everything about the new patch. Plus, I'm sure there's some other things like that I missed. There's some, again, rumors about the abilities of Fencer, etc. Right? Again, we don't know which heroes will be released in the update. But don't leave just yet, because I have a bit of an outlook in the future. None of this I can confirm. All of these are rumors. I've heard them from quite a few people. I've heard them from people that work closely with Valve, and it would make sense. But yeah, this is supposed to be the last major update before the game might possibly go into an open beta. Okay, which means this is still not going to be the release. Okay, this update probably going to come out right before Christmas if we're lucky. If we're unlucky, it's going to be delayed. Then we will get this update probably early mid-January instead, which would suck, right? I still think there's an above 50% chance we'll get this before Christmas. I'm sure they're working like full force to get this out before Christmas, because again, they created, like, you know, the Christmas look, and then they would have to split up the look, and then the next update after would be like, you know, I'm sure they want to do something for Christmas. So I still think there's a good chance it comes out before Christmas. Either way, after this update, which is going to be the December update or the January update, you know, depending on when you watch this, there's going to be one new other major update that is planned for 3 to 4 months later. So we're thinking March or April. And I've heard that Valve is looking into releasing the game into open beta then. Do I think that's a good idea personally? I'm not sure, right? Obviously, the pace of development they're putting out is rapid, right? Like, it's such massive updates in such a short time span. You can really tell that they're all committed to getting this game out or getting this game closer and closer to release. But I think there's only one chance for an open release, right? The average casual gamer gives a game one chance. And even if they go into like an open beta, not a full release, the average gamer is going to try it out. They're going to see it on Steam and they're going to play it, right? And then there's one chance. Either they like it or they don't. And I think while Deadlock is an amazing game already, and I'm sure this next update is going to make the game even more amazing, there is not a lot of stuff that keeps casuals happy. We will get the Street Brawl mode, the ARAM, right? Which is going to be a fun casual mode in December. But I think we need stuff like skins, or at least a progression system, like leveling up the heroes, right? We need something to make the average player feel rewarded. And you watching this video, if you're a Deadlock fan, a fan of mine, or just the game in general, you have to understand you're not the normal consumer. You are like way more dedicated, right? Like, we play this game because the game is amazing already, even though it's not out. But we are the minority, right? There's a lot of people, a lot of my friends I've talked to that are like, it's not out yet, you know, it's not even like I would have to get invited. It would be so much work. Most people are lazy, right? They wait until the game is out and then they're like, yes, let me install it. So if they go for something like an open beta, a lot of people might judge it based off that, where it's like, oh, the game is really good, but it's not finished and I don't really like it that much, and then they never come back. So do I think it's realistic that we'll get an open beta next year? Yes. I think it's very realistic. Do I like the idea? I think we should do one release, right? Like I don't work at Valve. I'm sure Valve knows better than me, and Valve does the thing they want, right? They do the things they want to do, and they're not like the norm. But I think one release would be what we need. Finish the game, have some skins, have drafting ready, right? Like one casual mode, one competitive mode. The game needs to be in that state. And again, there is going to be another update, at least one more major update before the supposed open beta, right? But that's my take on it. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm actually very curious, because some people are like, oh, release the game because the game needs players. But the game is doing really well already, right? And it's closed alpha. And I'll miss the times once this game gets popular. We're still a very small community, I want to say, right? Everyone knows everyone, which I love. So yeah, that's the rumor. Again, everything I said in this video, not coming from me. I've heard things, but I will not be held accountable if any of these things change. Valve always does last minute changes, right? Like if they're like, oh, Venator sucks and we don't like gun characters, and then they remove the character and it never comes out. Don't blame me, right? This is the most likely scenario. So yeah, TLDR, I'm really, really excited for this patch. It looks amazing on paper. And yeah, if we have to be a bit more patient, it's whatever. But I think it's going to come out this month, you know, right before Christmas, like a Christmas present. That was more so a news style coverage. You know, usually my videos are educational, I want to say, and some silly ones. So let me know if you like this, if you want to see more news updates for this game. We'll see how the video does. And until next time, see you friends. Bye bye.